great against our man defense and got some got some fouls, and we couldn't keep them off the glass. So we had a little bit of a rough start, and really proud of how our kids responded. We changed up defenses. I thought Oli really started establishing some tempo for us to get some transition things off our defense, and could be more proud of our centers and what they did producing at the paint. I thought just how they attacked in the interior and Oli's play off the bounce was fantastic. But for us, I think we're obviously best when we get multiple people involved, and I thought we were able to do that today.
Well, what helped you guys settle in after that first 5 minutes where you couldn't finish up, but then you guys rolled after that?
Honestly, all it takes is one play on the defensive end to get us started, and then from there, I think we just got rolling after that, and shots started going in. We focused in on defense, and that led our offense.
After kind of a inconsistent Big Sky schedule so far, how relieving is it to play a game like this? When the shots are falling, you're playing good defense. Just kind of how relieving is that?
It's nice. We just got to continue to grow from here and not be not settle for this win. It's a nice win, and it's fun to always beat the Grizz. But we just got to continue to grow and improve.
I would jump on that. I don't think it was a relief at all. I thought this team really wanted to play well for a crowd today, so I thought it was something that they responded to and they made happen.
Blaire, offensively, how are you? You and Alan both, when you roll through the lane, seem to get open all the time. What were you seeing in their defense that helped you finish at the rim?
I think they were confused. They weren't really sure what they were doing on that pick and roll, and it's easy to finish when your guard is finding you at the rim every time. You're right at the basket. She's getting you in good position. I mean, Oli with 8 assists tonight. There's just not a question about it. She finds you every time. Ashley was doing a great job with it. Haley, everybody was looking inside, and once you kind of get that going inside, then you can start to work out. You get people collapsing, and then shots start falling.
Yeah, Oliana, what were you seeing in their pick and roll coverages?
Sorry?
What were you seeing in their pick and roll coverages?
Just my post being wide open and putting them in a position to score. Really, that was it.
Blaire, what do you think went right there? Because after the first quarter, your defense really started clicking. What do you think went right after that first quarter?
Reminding ourselves of what our principles are and making sure that we're not letting them get those easy buckets. We're boxing out, not letting them get the offensive rebounds. I think that was a really big part. And then limiting them to one shot every possession and getting out and running the other way.
What did you like about the zone, Tricia?
Well, I liked how it took away the foul line, really. We, once we had a couple kids with 2 fouls, both teams were kind of in some sorts with some foul trouble. So we just, we were trying to play Madeline, getting her through the half without a 3rd foul, and we even threw Gabby in the mix in the center of the zone and trying to get Blaire some fresh legs. Because it's a battle. I mean, Jace Henderson's she's a great player and really difficult to defend. So, I just thought the 2-3 zone really kept our bigs low. It kept our guards up, and our guards scrambled for us. And I thought, when we went to that, the kids made it work.
And rebounding out of the zone, how important do you think that was?
Obviously, it's critical. We talked all week long about how good Montana is on the glass. Obviously, they're in the top 2 in a lot of categories there. And I think that's sometimes their best shot is they just get such great position by their actions and put themselves where it is hard to box out. So the zone gave us a little bit more room to box out well.
When did you find out that Cooter wasn't going to play, and did that change anything schematically for you coming into this?
Yeah, I mean, it was a few days ago. Obviously, it happened in practice. We were unaware until the next day. I just want to say how proud I am of Martha for communicating she wasn't feeling right, and I think that's a big step for a kid to be able to make, because we actually didn't even notice, so you just start your protocol, and for us, we've always been kind of a team that next player up. I just think our kids support each other the right way, and we've been playing a deep bench all season long, so really, as soon as we found out she was determined with a concussion, immediately in practice, I told him who was starting, because Tori's been in a starting lineup. Haley's rotated at the 3 quite often, and we knew that kids off the bench are going to have to come in and give us great minutes. Gabby, I thought, was fantastic off the bench. Obviously, Madeline's been a starter for us in the past, gave us tremendous minutes. I think Ashley runs the point guard as well as anybody, and allows Oli some freedom to move to the 2. But, you know, it's one of those things that we have never been a team about one player. I think we're about a team that tries to get multiple people involved. It would be fantastic to have Martha back, don't get me wrong, and we challenged our kids who's going to make up those foul free throw attempts and the rebounding, because Martha's one of our best in our team, and I was super proud of how we rebounded the ball today and how we were able to get to the foul line in the first half.
Do you know if she'll play on Monday, or do you know?
We're just we're on the progression right now back, so.
Blaire, did you take that too for yourself as a you know, just a personal sort of responsibility to step in and fill some of those things that she does so well for you?
I don't necessarily think it's, like as Coach Ben said, one person.
Right.
I think we all understood that, you know, you got to make up a couple of those rebounds and get to the foul line a little bit more. So we understood that as a team and understood that we needed to bring that kind of energy, crash the glass, you know, as hard as Martha does, take that as an opportunity to get some kids in some really good opportunities to do that. And I think that, you know, as a team, we really thrived today. So.
Tricia, this marks the halfway point of the conference schedule. Just can you how can you evaluate your team at this point?
You know, I think our team has so much capability and so much potential. I thought the crowd got to see that today. I'm probably the biggest fan of this team of anybody. If you look at a couple of our losses, we had some double-digit leads against Portland State and Eastern Washington. You know, you'd like to go back and say, hey, can we finish those stronger? And we're in a completely different situation. But there's so much season left, and going into it, we've talked early on with this team that this team is going to be peaking later because we have so many new faces to be gelling together. So I think our kids are as hungry as ever right now. This is the time of season where I think you need to start separating yourselves, getting yourself into a top seed. But you still got to be locked into the present. Great teams find ways to love being in practice right now this time of year, and we had one of our best weeks we've had all year.
Do you think it'll be a challenge at all to, you know, turn the page so quickly for a game on Monday against another solid opponent in a different environment?
It's always an emotional challenge after a Cat-Griz game for sure, especially a big victory. And we're going to utilize the UNC game as a great reminder for us. We had a great game against UNC, and we came back and got beat on our home floor against Eastern Washington. We had a great start against Eastern Washington. We're going to do a great job of starting and finishing, but part of that's on me. I've made some adjustments to put them in better situations to finish games stronger. I thought Eastern Washington, I didn't do a great job down the stretch managing our players, and I made sure we got some kids off in that force so we could finish the game the right way. Probably also make the right adjustments during the game for them to set them up. So we're going to have to do that against UNC and get ready to go. They're going to support their men's team tonight. I absolutely want them to celebrate and support our guys and enjoy this one, but we'll turn the page and get ready for tomorrow.
For both of you, just how nice is it to beat the Grizzlies?
Feels great.
It's always the best feeling, so it's
I
a
mean,
good one.
at home too, you know, we say this, you know, win the state, and I think when you do it at home, it feels even better. We had a great crowd today, a lot of people supporting us, and it's fun to get to do it for a third year at home.
Being able to feed off the crowd's energy was a lot of fun.
Coach, Montana is so thin on the bench, especially when you talk about experience. Or starting five is good, but did you have a good feeling about, hey, you know, if we can, as we get deeper into this game, they start to go through rotation, that things are going to start to swing in your favor?
Well, we talk about the third and fourth, trying to keep the tempo up. I think, you know, that's regardless of our opponent. I think it's just a strength of who we are. I think we're deep, and even without Martha, we have kids that we're super confident in rotating in, and so we just want to continue to have that tempo go for a complete game, because I do think the third and fourth quarter for us in particular is really critical.
Trish, what do you think of the momentum we have in this rivalry now, having won 6 out of last 8?
I think it doesn't matter, every single one, you've got to treat it like the first. But I respect what Shannon's doing over there. I think she's doing a fantastic job, and she's been working in a lot of great players, and we're going to have to, the next time around, get as ready as ever. But really proud of our kids today and what they were able to do.
All right, thank you.
After that one, just a tough loss, but just kind of give us your thoughts after that one.
You know, it's such a fun rivalry. I wish, I mean, we got out to a great start. We were looking really good there for the first probably 5-10 minutes. And games like this, everybody's going to get a run, and we needed to kind of battle back. And I think they got on a run, and Shannon said we got to be able to get back on a run. And I think we just didn't quite grasp that with our shooting tonight.
You guys, you're sitting 5-5 in the conference now. Just kind of evaluate just where you're at the halfway point of this conference season. What have you guys gotten a chance to kind of think about that? Like just where the team's at right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're excited. I think things are getting better as the season goes on. So 5-5, I think we're ready for the rest of the season. We've improved on a lot already, and so we're looking forward to the rest. And we're definitely going to finish strong.
Jace, the early fouls, did that affect the way you approach the rest of the game?
I mean, I definitely need to be able to keep myself in the game regardless of if they're not wanting me to be super physical and you know, in an atmosphere like this, you might get a couple calls like that. I need to keep myself in the game and still stay physical, but show no foul.
Sammy, when they switched to that zone, how much did that affect what you guys were doing on offense?
It definitely slowed us down a little bit. I think we definitely could have adjusted a little bit better to it, but I mean, it switched up a lot of our momentum, and I think we just didn't adjust well.
That second half, Sammy, did you guys like the 3 points looks you were getting? It seemed like that first half more falling. That second half, did you kind of like the shots you're getting, or was the defense kind of throwing things off a little bit more?
I mean, I like the shots that everyone's getting. I think our shots just didn't fall tonight. It's kind of unlike us, so just gotta keep shooting the ball. We're gonna be all right.
Definitely, we have the players for it. We just got to perform.
How frustrating did it get, you know, for you guys in that third quarter in particular when I think you guys shot 4 for 17 in that third quarter?
I mean, yeah, it's frustrating when shots aren't going in, but Shannon talked to us about rebounding the basketball. They did a great job boxing people out, but we need to be able to find gaps and keep staying physical and just go grit out an offensive board.
You know, the first quarter, it seemed like, you know, you were getting looks that you wanted in, those shots were falling. What do you think the difference was the rest of the game?
I mean, once our shots started to not fall, I think our biggest thing was not adjusting to that. Like she just said, going to the boards, getting those rebounds. Like our shots weren't falling. Oh well, we have to adjust, and we didn't get there tonight.
Sammy, this was your first Cat-Griz game. How does this environment compare to other rivalry games you've competed in?
This one's definitely special. I mean, it's fun. It was awesome to be out there, and just the atmosphere was amazing. These are fun games to play, and this was probably by far the best rivalry game I've been in.
Looked like you guys were having a little bit of trouble defending that pick and roll. What were they doing on that was giving you trouble?
You know, it's hard when they've got a good shooter handling the ball coming off that, and then they have those big girls, and we need to be able to step towards the on ball with our help side. They're a good 3-point shooting team, and we need to be able to cover up the help side and then also arrive to shooters, and it was just picking our poison, and I just think we could have adjusted better.
You guys are in the midst of, I think, 5 straight road games. How do you think you guys have handled that to this point?
You know, for the most part, pretty well. I think that that's definitely a mental challenge that some of our younger girls haven't really been through. And I think that learning to grit wins out like we had against Weber after a tough loss against Idaho State, that's us improving as a team. And one thing that I've really admired about this team is how much everyone's bought into that team aspect. So we just have to keep going with us, and I really do believe we will.
Thank you.
Questions?
Well, you know, obviously got off to a good start. Felt good about the start, and you know, the adjustment of going to zone definitely hurt us. I thought we got a lot of good looks inside against the zone initially. Unfortunately, those didn't go down, and I felt like we missed a lot of easy ones early. And then, you know, we needed someone to come in and start making some perimeter shots, and that was tough to kind of find somebody who could knock some down tonight. And you know, we couldn't quite put together a run after we lost our momentum.
How would you kind of describe the atmosphere in a game like this?
It's great. I think it's a great experience for the ladies. You know, we've been fortunate this season to play in front of some really big crowds. We played in front of 6,000 at Gonzaga, 5,000 at Arizona. So I think that that's a positive thing for women's basketball in general. I think it's great to have the opportunity to play in front of that. So we're anticipating a great crowd. It was a great crowd, and you know, it just unfortunately we didn't get it quiet up enough.
That first quarter, Shannon, the threes were kind of falling a little bit. Did you like the threes that were coming later on in the game? They just weren't falling. Do you think they were good looks?
Yeah, you know, I did. I felt like we were getting pretty good looks. You know, the one thing we talked a lot about in the game was when you're struggling offensively against zone in particular, where you really don't have block out responsibility, somebody's got to go get some rebound putbacks, and you got to be crashing the boards. That should be a weakness of playing zone, is rebounding, and we didn't have that effort that we needed tonight on the O boards.
They didn't score in the first 5 minutes of the game, but they seemed to progressively improve offensively. What did you see out of them from a defensive standpoint?
Well, I thought Lumberg got some good looks early. I thought we were a little bit lucky that she didn't make any of those because she got some pretty good looks. And obviously, we concentrated and focused on her a lot, which when you do that, you're going to give up some other things. And no, we're not expecting to hold them down here at home by any means. It's one of those things you hope that, if you can be scoring a little bit with them and hanging around towards the end, you got a chance. But, I felt like they got plenty of good looks. It was just they were hitting a stretch where they weren't making those as well.
Do you think that the offensive struggles affected the defensive effort at all, especially third, fourth quarter? They were getting a lot of easy looks.
Well, there's nothing more frustrating than when you're not scoring. I mean, it just really, it can affect your whole game. And we talked about composure and not letting that affect you. And I think there, oftentimes can be kids that it affects them on the other end, and it's difficult. You're frustrated when you're not making shots. But we've got to be better than that. And we've had a lot of games where we've struggled scoring this year, and we've managed to pull it out with on the defensive end. I thought they got way too many open looks off screen and rolls and things like that where we just had miscommunication, and that was disappointing on our end that we didn't have better intensity.
Played your starters for the whole first quarter. How big of a challenge is that then when you got an entire bench that has never played in this rivalry game?
Well, that's a good point. I think they were all fired up to get a taste of it. Some of those kids, we had 2 of our kids coming off the bench are Montana kids who've grown up here watching these since they've been little. So I think they were fired up. And I have faith in them coming into the game. They've all gotten developed this season and confident in what they could do.
What was your impression of Squires number 24? It seemed like she was able to score and distribute pretty evenly tonight.
Yeah. I mean, she's a great player. She's a good shooter. Like I said, when you're focused on Lumberg a little bit, you're going to give up some other things. But she got to the hole a little bit too much on us, and she's a good driver. And we need to do a better job flattening her out. It should have been tougher for her to get in there and get to the hole on us.
This game marks the halfway point in the conference schedule. Just how would you evaluate your team right now at this point?
Well, we've had 3 starters lost to injury, and so it's kind of been an ever-changing evolution for us. Just recently lost Goligoski, and we're constantly having to kind of shuffle girls around. I think the second half, as long as we can stay healthy the second half, we can get a little more dialed into who we are and what we have and our rotations. But I like our team. I love this team. I think they're playing hard. I'm confident they're going to bounce back from this. You have some bad nights in basketball where you don't shoot the ball well, and those happen. And we got to get in the gym, spend some time getting shots up and things like that. But I'm confident this is a team. We've proven it this season that we can play with anybody in the conference.
With kind of the depth issue, how tough was it for you when Jace got those 3 fouls early?
Well, obviously it's not what you want, but I thought that other girls that came in, did a nice job. Carmen came in and did some good things, and we had to go with a little bit different lineup because of Jace's foul trouble. But she wasn't out that long. I didn't think it played too much into it.
In the midst of this 5 consecutive road games, how difficult do you think is this stretch? And what do you hope to see out of your team?
Well, it's an interesting stat that no other team in the nation, men or women, have a 5-game road swing in conference. So we knew it was going to be challenging. We're going to some tough places to play, Idaho State and here and Weaver, and then now we, are on the road to Idaho and Eastern. So very challenging. We talked about that. We said this could be a rough little stretch. We've got to stay together, have good chemistry, know that, that Boise is where everything's going to come together for people, and that's going to, if we're playing our best basketball at that point in time, that's good stuff. So, we've got to weather this little storm. Katie went down early in this game. She's one of our better shooters. That hurt us a little bit as well. But we've got to just find ways to get it done.
Was it her ankle again?
Yeah, she's been nursing a bad ankle and landed, and it just kind of popped on her again. So, and she's been a nice offensive punch for us off the bench, and that was just one more kid that was out of the mix.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.